Welcome to the Red Men TV. Steve here with my reaction after West Ham United 0, Liverpool 2. The Reds get back to winning ways, finally, keeping a clean sheet as well. 3 much needed points, not only in terms, of course, of the Premier League table, but just in terms of the mood, the atmosphere around the club, all of our feelings, mainly as well. Listen, the manager's position absolutely would have been coming into question if that hadn't have been the case today. So credit to the Liverpool players. I thought they played really well. I think the manager made some big decisions and was paid. They paid dividends as well, justified in those. So let's talk through the game then and the major talking points one by one. Obviously, the big decisions ahead of the game. The manager didn't just do the same things again and expect different results. He did make changes. The first one brings Joe Gomez in at right back, and I'm going to start actually with that. I thought Joe Gomez was magnificent, absolutely magnificent. You know, for a lad who was getting injections in his knee about a week ago, hasn't been able to really train, mistrained a few days here and there. He was effectively asked in this system, this tweak of the formation or whatever, the selection of the players. He was effectively asked to be Liverpool's right back, Liverpool's right midfielder and Liverpool's right winger, up and down constantly, and he did such a good job. I thought he was magnificent. And a little reminder of the quality that Joe Gomez has. He actually recently, in my opinion, in the last few years, he's actually looked better as a fullback, whether that be on the left or the right, than he has when he's had those infrequent games as centre-half. I thought he was brilliant. He did his job defensively. You know, they didn't get much of any joy down the left-hand side, blocking crosses, getting in the way, but also, you know, facilitating the attack as well, getting himself forward, puts in a couple of good crosses. You know, he eventually ends up with the assist late on. He would have had another one earlier if not for a very good save from Areola. Well, more of an interception of Gomez's own cross because it looked like Alexander Isak was going to have a tap in. So fair play to the manager. He got Gomez on the pitch. He got him at right back. He moved away from putting a midfielder there. And I understand in recent weeks, you know, he's been, Arne Slot, his hands been a little bit tired with the injuries because Gomez obviously wasn't even fit as we found out. But today he was, and I thought he was magnificent. Great news that he lasted the 90 minutes as well. Me and Paul did the watch along, and we were like, at what point is Gomez probably going to have to come off, and what are Liverpool going to do? Is he going to go back to Sobo or Curtis or Endo? This will be interesting what the manager thinks about he has to do. And in the end, he didn't, which so credit to Joe, coming out the cold, lasting 90 minutes. And listen, I named on our live stream, I named him as the man of the match. There are a few other candidates who we'll definitely speak about in a moment, but not only for his performance, but also the circumstances around his performance. It's why I voted Joe as my man of the match. Thought he was brilliant. Thought it was a great decision from Arne to pick him and a great performance from Joe. The next big decision, leaving Mohamed Salah on the bench, bringing in Florian Wirtz, and again, fully justified in that decision was Arne Slot by how Liverpool performed and how well Florian Wirtz performed. Again, 75 minutes or so when he was on the pitch, he was constantly involved in that free role. His link-up play is magnificent. Little one-touches here and there, creates loads of opportunities, loads of chances. His work off the ball is fantastic as well, pressing and hurrying and harrying and getting stuck in, which is great to see. A little criticism, I think he should have scored. I think if that side footer that he almost tries to curl past the goalkeeper, I think if he, you know, connects better, maybe puts his foot through it, he could have been celebrating a goal there. But again, Liverpool, the balance of the team looked better, and then Wirtz, you know, if you haven't got enough pressure on your shoulders already, you know, coming in, this hotshot player worth £100+ million, to then be the man who effectively Liverpool bench Mohamed Salah for, there's more pressure on your plate. But Florian Wirtz didn't play like he had pressure. He played with a freedom and an expression, and a desire to get involved and create and work hard that maybe has been lacking for Liverpool in the last couple of weeks, especially the last 2 or 3 performances. Definitely the last 2 home games that Liverpool had against Forest and PSV. So the manager again fully justified in making that change. I was behind it before kick-off. And this isn't me coming out here and slaughtering Mohamed Salah, because that is not the case. That would be far too disrespectful to pile on Mohamed Salah. But my point was, we're not good enough at this moment defensively to have the luxury of Mohamed Salah being your, for lack of a better phrase, the cheat player. You know, he's allowed to stay up, he's allowed to cheat, he's allowed to do that because we know he'll score the goals or create the chances. Because I actually think against Forest in the first half hour or so, and I thought at times against PSV, Salah in attack looked very bright. But I think the balance of the side was often that we're not good enough to soak up this pressure. We're not good enough at this moment in time defensively to have someone doing that. So therefore, you might need to sacrifice Mohamed Salah in terms of his goals and his assists to get someone in who maybe can do, just has the legs and the energy and the maybe, I don't know if desire is the right word, but like the necessary adequate facilities. Like, I don't know what I'm trying to say really, but like to be basically to defend. And whether Salah can't defend anymore, he doesn't want to, whatever it is, Wirtz will and did. So fair play to the manager. Another great bold decision and one he got absolutely right. And again, I thought Wirtz was brilliant. Alexander Isak, again, for those who saw the watch along, thanks very much for joining in. Obviously, a lot of you guys who are watching or listening to this won't. You might have been watching the games in the stadium or you've been watching on TV without us, with friends and family, and hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. I did say it's about time now for Alexander Isak. It's time. You've had enough time to bed in, you've had enough time, you should be fit, and I know you've had the injuries, but it's time to deliver. £125 million. I'm just, at the end of November, literally the last day of November, it's time to deliver. You have to deliver. And he's very, very unlucky in the first half. I think he forces a good save from close range against from Areola. He probably gets a tap in at the back post, if not for, again, another good intervention by the goalkeeper. And then out of nowhere, when that chance falls to him, to sort his feet out so quickly and get the first time shot away, guide it into the corner. He doesn't blast it, he doesn't have to wham it, he doesn't take a touch. He just steers the cross from Cody Gakpo, or the low-driven cross, straight into the back of the net. The space that was between the post and the goalkeeper's hand was probably just about enough for a football to fit in. And that's exactly what Alexander Isak did. It was time to deliver. He deserved it in terms of, the feeling that he's going to get from this. So he'll deserve that, because I'm sure he's worked really hard on his rehab and trying to integrate himself. But also, yeah, he owed that to his team, and he owed that to the fan base, and he owed that to the manager and the people who spent all this money on him. Like, unfortunately, that's the life. You're Liverpool's goal scorer. You've got a 9 on your back, and you cost £125 million. You're there to score goals, and it was time to score a goal, and it was a big goal that Liverpool desperately needed, and it was a good goal as well. And that is the Alexander Isak that we know and that we've seen for Newcastle time and time again. It isn't always raw pace and power and sprinting behind and absolutely blamming it. He has got the touch and the guile of a really class finisher, and he's shown that again, not only against Liverpool, by the way, which he has, but he's shown that in numerous times throughout his career on the North East, and it was nice that we got the first glimpse of it here. Because the only other goal he scored, obviously, in that League Cup game was relatively put on a play for him. This time it was much different. It was a very, very difficult chance, and he made the count. So absolutely fantastic, really, really good. And then, listen, there's numerous other people we can shout. I am going to mention briefly Cody Gakpo, who continues to be the most frustrating footballer in the world, in that he'll do things sometimes that I haven't got here, but if I did, I'm sure I'd be pulling it out. It's like, what's that? What's that touch? What's that decision? Why have you done that? Why haven't you played that there? Why have you done this? But then all of a sudden, he creates a goal and he scores a goal with, a very, very good assist and a very, very good finish late on. And that's kind of the, at this moment in time with Cody Gakpo, he is very much a moments player. There'll be times throughout the game where he's going to do your head in, but then he pops up with a couple of moments of brilliance. It reminds me of, 2005, 2006, that era, Luis Garcia, who sometimes you'd just be going insane, going, oh no, you're doing me head in. And then all of a sudden, why are you on the pitch? What's he doing? Why is next play? Why isn't White playing? And then bang, there's a goal, there's an assist. Two very good moments. So fair play to Cody Gakpo, who was influential in Liverpool winning that game. And then finally, shout out to the centre halves. And I mentioned Gomez before, but shout out also to Milos Kerkez. I thought all three of them, for the most part, were excellent. Starting with Van Dijk and Konate, headed everything, got in the way, blocked stuff. A couple of slight moments towards the end where I think Liverpool got a little bit nervous, maybe not used to winning, which is a shame, because it's for a while last season all they did was win, where they got a little bit edgy. But for the most part, interceptions, blocks, headers, clearances, getting in the way, organised, set pieces, they didn't really cause us too much of a problem. So credit to both of them, and then credit to Milos Kerkez as well. Probably his best game, I think, for Liverpool, definitely defensively. Stopping the cross time and time again. That is priority one for your fullback in defence. Stop the cross. We can concentrate on the other stuff going forwards a bit later on. We didn't ask Milos Kerkez to do too much going forwards. Actually, more of the attack and play seemed to come down Liverpool's right. He got in a couple of times, but it wasn't all the time. And when he actually did get in, I think he actually played a couple of nice crosses. But defensively stuck to his task, didn't do any stupid brain-dead decisions or rush into things, just held his line. You know, Jarrod Bowen's a good player. Jarrod Bowen has hurt Liverpool in the past. He's hurt plenty of Premier League teams in the past, and Kirkes did really, really well to keep him in check. So overall, I thought it was a good Liverpool performance. Some green shoots of positivity going into, again, you move out to West Ham, you play a Sunderland team who are a very good team. You know, they're above us in the league table right now. That'll be tough for Anfield, but you'd hope Liverpool can win. And then they play Leeds again. Leeds showed against Manchester City at the weekend. They're no pushovers. But there are some green shoots of life there for Liverpool. Interesting what the manager does going forward. Does he stick again? Does he twist? How does he rest and rotate his squad? It's all up for grabs. There are positions and there are places. Maybe a couple of lads feel the legs today after that, you know. I think Andy Robertson comes late on, for example. I think Kirkes took a bit of a knock. So there's things for the manager to decide, but I think we learned some lessons today about some of the players the manager, if he relies on them and if the system's right, he can trust them. And that's really, really good to see, because what these Liverpool players have shown us, you know, take away the Madrid and the Aston Villa games, which have been more, unfortunately, the anomaly or the exceptions to the rule. These lads have underperformed. They are much better players than they've shown us for a long time. And I think today was the start of some of them trying to show us what their real level is. You know, Alisson didn't really have to make a save because the defenders did their jobs, the midfielders did their jobs, and then Liverpool created a couple of chances and the attackers put them away. So yeah, fantastic. Really, really, really encouraging. The next job is to go and back it up now, make sure this isn't a flash in the pan, because I know West Ham have been on a good little run recently in terms of form, but they were poor today. I don't know if that's Liverpool making them look poor or it's, you know, they are just poor. We don't know. I don't think Sunderland will be that bad in midweek. I'd be shocked if Leeds are that bad at their own ground next weekend. So, yeah, this isn't me saying, you know, everything's fine and dandy in the garden. We're back. It's brilliant. Here we come. It's not that, but it was definitely encouraging. Liverpool had to win today, and they did get the win. Absolutely brilliant. Up those. Won a game of football for the first time in a while, Reds.